For those of you charged with a drug possession crime here in Florida, I'm about to give you the basics. And I've got about 100 videos that dive deeper into each one of these topics. But for starters, a possession of a controlled substance, a possession of a drug here in Florida comes in two flavors. It is either an actual possession of that drug or constructive possession. If you are charged with actual possession of a drug, that just means it was in your pocket, it was in your hand, it was in your mouth smoking it. That's actual possession. Constructive possession is, it wasn't on your person, it was in your trunk. It was in your glove compartment of the car that you own and the car that you're driving. Things of that sort. That's what we call constructive possession. Also, I want you to keep in mind that different drugs in Florida carry different punishments, right? Because misdemeanor drugs are primarily marijuana under 20 grams. That's a misdemeanor. Felony drugs is pretty much everything else. Cocaine is felony, any amount of cocaine, any amount of heroin, any amount of fentanyl, any amount of Xanax, oxycodone, you name it, those are felonies. They start out at an F3, which is a maximum of 5 years in prison. If you have too much of a drug, like a bunch of pills, you might get a possession with intent to sell or deliver. That carries a 15-year max. It's 3 times as serious as a normal possession. And if you have a lot of drugs, not tons of drugs, not, Escobar kind of drugs, but just a decent amount, you could wind up with a trafficking charge, and that carries up to 30 years. And every single trafficking has a mandatory prison sentence attached to it. 3 years prison, 7 years prison, 15, just depending on how much of the drug they allege that you had. So that sucks. Those charges are tough for sure. But we have lots of defenses, and one of the common defenses in a drug possession charge is we challenge the search and seizure of that drug. Because, okay, we just talked about the fact that maybe there are some drugs in your pocket, right? How in the hell, what business does the government have searching your pockets? I mean, come on. They might have a legit reason to be in your pocket, but they might not. And we will challenge that. Also, if they found drugs in your trunk or glove compartment or in your house and things like that, we are also challenging what we call lack of knowledge. Just because there is something in the trunk of your car doesn't mean you knew it was there. Just because you own a 4-bedroom house and in one of the bedrooms there's some drugs, that doesn't mean you knew that. Lack of knowledge is part of our defense strategy at times, especially on trafficking charges. We are looking at issues of entrapment. Entrapment is a fancy way of saying that you had no desire to deal in a bunch of drugs. You had no desire to do something, but the government induced you. The government found you in a vulnerable spot, took advantage of that, and steered you in a direction that otherwise you never would have gone. And that's entrapment, basically. Aside from all the defenses that we've talked about, the basics, there are programs out there. There are tons of diversion programs, even for felony charges, that we can get your charges dropped or reduced, all because you did some community service hours, you did some drug classes, drug awareness, things of that sort, and your charges will be dropped. We have 67 counties in Florida, and every single county seems to do their diversion a little different. They have different names for it. Some it's called intervention, some it's called diversion, some it's called second chance programs. Whatever they label it, it's a beautiful thing if your attorney can negotiate you into that program, because it means your charges are about to be dismissed if you just jump through the hoops that they ask you to jump through. If you are convicted of a drug offense in Florida, not only do you have that jail and prison time that we mentioned, but also a 6-month DL suspension comes with every single drug conviction here in Florida. I don't know about you, but I can't go 6 months without driving. That would be very difficult. Some of you, maybe you walk everywhere very healthy, and I'm happy for you. But a drug conviction, even on a misdemeanor drug offense, you're gonna lose your license for 6 months. I do have a couple ways around that, but that's a story for another day. That is my little basic drug overview here in Florida. If your stuff happened in Central Florida, that is where I have been defending these sorts of things since 1993. As of the taping of this, that's over 31 years. Give our office a call. I'm sure we can help you out.